Hi everyone, I am Lady Stars of Fire. My real name is Michelle Espinosa, and here are the weekly healing messages for March 11th through the 18th. So much to say, so little time to say them. My video only lets me have 33 minutes before it cuts off, so I try to make it as fast as I can, give you all the knowledge I got to give you from spirit, from the runes, and from astrology, and then get back out of your life as quickly as I can with whatever it is I have to pass forward that they gave me. But the but is I don't have time to go through everything in detail. So sometimes you have to go back and look some stuff up to find out where it is that it matches your life directly. Like the runes. I always do the rune cast, but I'm not going to go over them with you. You can go onto my website. You can go on any of my social media and you can see where I've spoken about the rune cast for the week. So you can decide what areas that is speaking to you in your life directly. But this week's runes are on Seuss, Dagaz, and Sowilo. So that I got that out of the way and I've made sure to post that part. There you go. Now, this week, I'm going to start off with what Spirit is giving me. However, right before I do, I'm going to remind you, we have the new moon coming in at the end of the week, which means new moons are all about new beginnings, new goals, new projects, new starts, basically. So obviously, as we come into this week, this whole week is going to be out about getting us to the point where we can get to start those new moons, energies, new moons, beginnings, starts, projects, goals. Basically, we're getting to that point where the new moon will actually bring us through. So, with that being said, the new moon at the end of this week, which will take place on the 17th on Saturday, will be, hi Neptune, will be in Pisces, with a void, of course, of Aries. I'm telling you that because when I get back to astrology, that's an important factor. Now, this week itself, I'm being told by Spirit, is somewhat of sweet and sour. They are telling us specifically to make sure that you walk your talk, walk your soul, walk your root, walk your soul power, walk your truth, basically. To be in sync with yourself. It's important this week. Because they're telling me as we get to that new moon and as we work through the week, you want to make sure not to be doubting yourself. You want to trust and have faith in yourself, in your knowing, in your intuition, in your higher self and what it is that it's telling you, as well as what you may be, if you're a medium, what you may be thinking you are hearing. Because this goes back to the astrology. Jupiter just went into retrograde. And trust me, several of you are and still have been getting upgrades, so to speak, about what Jupiter is going to be teaching you over the next 4 months. In retrograde, that means that Jupiter now has turned around and it's looking backwards. So it's looking inward to you, kind of going over the abundance and the higher knowledge and the manifestation that you need to be looking at. So it's reevaluating its priorities, basically, to make this happen for you. Now, with that being said, you also want to know yourself, be in sync with yourself, and be able to walk your talk, walk your soul, walk your root this week, like I said, because boundaries are going to be coming up. Boundaries are going to be coming up. So is kind of like the making sure you're not being taken advantage of, or that you're not being the one that's also being a bully, possibly. This also has to do with communication. Now, with all of that being said, I am being given, for those of you who know your energies or know your metaphysical meanings behind things, I am being given vanilla, maple, and vetiver. Vetiver, I'm being given it specifically because it will help with anxiety, stress, depression. It will help overcome that. You might want to use it in a diffuser. I'm being given that. But I'm also being given the meaning of the maple tree and what it is that maple brings, along with the vanilla. Because the vanilla for me always deals with compassion and compassion and love, basically. But the maple's bringing it to another level. It's bringing the magic in. It's bringing a deeper aspect of that soulfulness in. And you might want to go back up and look what its spiritual meanings are. I'm also given the donkey. The donkey would be the spirit guide for the week. And it makes perfect sense. Excuse me, it makes perfect sense because people get the wrong idea. They think of donkeys and they just think of the stubbornness. Well, the stubbornness is because the donkey knows its boundaries. It knows what it's capable of and knows what it's not. And it's not going to be pushed around. It's not going to do something that would be dangerous to it. It knows its boundaries. But it also speaks to us of service to the world, to others, as well as to itself. It knows, like I said, it knows its boundaries. It knows what it cannot do and when it will not be any good to anybody else. It also speaks to us of carrying the burdens that have been put upon us. And within that, where the line is of being a burden versus service and knowing where that comes down to. It also speaks to us of mirroring. And mirroring has a thing to do with shadow in a form. So I'm giving you those aspects. I'm given also the number 29. And I posted on social media 29, like the information from angel numbers of 29. And I am being given the vibration number of 29 because it just appears to me. The number does. So the energies of 29 are helpful to you. You can go back and look that up. But I'm also given Psalms 29. And you can go back into the Bible and look that up if you want, because I'm being directed to it as an other idea of helping you understand this week. Like I said, but I'm not going to go into everything that Psalms 29 says. I'm just going to finish with a part that caught my attention more than anything, especially if you go back and you read it and you listen to this video, you'll understand what I'm saying. Because in Psalms 29, it's speaking of being blessed with peace. Well, how do you get to being blessed with peace? This is where I speak about often about the lightning, understanding the lightning. Well, what is lightning? When I speak of lightning, I am speaking about connecting to that source energy that we all have, that special connection we have with source. It's not my job to tell you to believe in God, to believe in gods, to believe in the universe, to believe in source energy. I know that we all have something we connect to, and whatever it is you believe it is up to you and your religion and your own spiritual path. But I'm being directed in this one on helping you find that source energy. And that is what I call the lightning. But when I did a video in the very beginning of the year, I was told I'm getting it wrong. I always call it the lightning, and they say, no, it's lightning and thunder. Both is what it is. They're saying you must take your source energy that is in you, that connection that you have with everything, the oneness, the wholeness of everything, along with just the source itself. But you also must deal with the thunder, which is dealing with shadow and knowing how to vibrate higher and make your shadow less shadowy, so to speak. So we start healing ourselves, and it has to do with that combination. Now, with that being said, I often speak too about what I like to call a bee charmer. And the bee charmer is the person who could go in and get honey from the bees, from the hive, and be able to come back and take it away, but without wearing the beehive outfit, so that they're safe and protected. There are very few people out there who can actually go directly up to the hive and get it. My father was one of those people. It was an amazing thing. But it takes a special character, a special inner peace, at least at that timing, to be able to go in while you still have bees all over you. And I call this the bee charmer, because you have to be able to have an inner peace about you, an inner shake off the drama, an inner shake off the worry and the doubt, because it's just not that important. and everything's going to be fine and I don't have to worry about it. You have to have that inner peace to you to be able to keep the bees from stinging you. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and try that, but I'm saying I call the bee charmer where we find our inner peace. A part of, think of that idea. And that has to do with being able to shake off the stress, shake off the anxiety. It's speaking to us of the lightning and the thunder and being able to overcome it and bring in that higher vibration so that we can actually connect with source energy. It speaks to us of the adrenaline that comes to us and flows through us. Adrenaline flows through us just like water flows through a river. So does your vibrational energy. Your vibrational energy is going to flow through you. However, connecting it to that higher vibrational energy, the positive energy, the knowing energy, it doesn't matter because I'm part of the oneness. It's being above that third dimensional level and being able to truly look down, not down, but out at the world at a whole new, it doesn't matter because I got this. That brings you to a higher vibrational energy to be able to connect with that source, with that thunder and lightning, with the source energy that is part of you. And it reminds us that we don't have to be ashamed of who we are, what we're connected to, or that source energy. We don't have to be ashamed of it. We don't have to be embarrassed by it because we're not just connected to it. We're part of it, honey. And this is part of that Palms 29 where you're blessed with peace. So you might want to go back and read that as well and how it helps you connect with source energy and liberating yourself along with freedom. That is speaking to you of breathing in the connection of source. That is a rightful part of who and what you are. Now, with that all being said, let me jump into astrology. Again, at the end of the week, on the 17th, on Saturday, you have the new moon taking place. I'm sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. And Pisces with a void, of course, of Aries. Pisces, I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. Everything is going on in Pisces. And Pisces still has everything going on in it. That sweet and sour that I was telling you part of this week is because as we come into where the new moon is, where we start to be able to move ourselves into the direction of setting new priorities, new goals, new directions, new beginnings, new starts, comes from the fact in Pisces is your universal 12th house. Aries is your universal first house. However, Pisces speaks to us emotionally of being able to be compassionate and caring and loving. But it also speaks to us of the magic because that's where Neptune's home is. It gives us a new magical air about it. But the problem with that is it also has Neptune's trickery to it because you want to believe good. And some people aren't always out to do what's good. Sometimes people are going to try to bully you because that's what's good for them. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying you do have narcissistic people in this world. And this is a time where that new moon, you want to make sure that you're coming into this right direction because you're coming to the end of a 12th house, the beginning of a first house. Pisces energy with the moon is speaking to you of compassion and caring and wanting to do the right things and believing. But you also have people who will take advantage of you, so you need to stand your ground. This is part of that standing in your power. This is part of standing in your truths. But you're also having it with a void, of course, of Aries. Like I said, we're talking about Saturday at the end of the week, but all energy is going to be building us to it. Aries is a fire sign. Aries is a beginning sign. Aries is an aggressive, emotional fire sign, but its energy burns out and gets bored easy at the same time. So we're looking at the end and the beginning, and we're looking at your passion and your fire and aggression all being able to just start, but at the same time you don't want it to just blow out and just You see what I'm saying? So you're taking mischief of magic versus attitude. That can go either way, basically. So you want to watch this as we're building into this week. Not only is there a new moon on Saturday the 17th, but Mars also is moving into Capricorn. And believe me, even though it don't look like there's a lot of energy going on with that, Mars has got a lot of energy hiding within that. Mars is your warrior. It is your inner SWAT team. It is your action. It is your aggression. It is your fire. Moving into Capricorn is going to be putting it with Pluto, Lilith, Saturn, and that's an earth sign. So this is also speaking to us just in general of building those new foundations, those new standings that you want to make the goal be able to last a long time and get your rewards and your payoffs back from in the long run. So this is a foundation. This also is going to have something to do with that new moon energy. Like I said, it is your warrior in action. It is your aggressive fire and passion going in with Pluto, which is your death, decay, and destruction for rebirth, renewal, and regeneration, which means change, coming up to speak directly with Saturn, which is your rules, your boundaries, and your walls. And why are they there? And are they there right? And are we needing to change them and redirect them? As well as Lilith, who is going to be speaking to us of, she is a powerful feminist energy. She speaks to us of, nobody's going to tell me what to do, period. I'm going to do as I want. But you want to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, not for egotistical reasons. Otherwise, it will take you in the wrong way in the long run. Here are your positives. Jupiter in the 8th house, universally, of Scorpio, which is the mystery in the making. It is the feminine mystery of fertility, as well as the feminine mystery of birth, death, and rebirth. Okay? Is speaking to Jupiter, which is where Jupiter is right now. It is your higher knowledge, your abundance, and your growth, which means it is your magnet, more or less. It is speaking again to Pisces in that 12th house of overcoming what it is we must overcome in order to move forward. Within our relationships, and what it is our relationships are responsible for. Pisces is going to be speaking with Jupiter and Scorpio with Chiron, your wounded healer. But it's also speaking with both the sun and the moon and Chiron all this week. Because remember, the moon is going to be moving all week to get to that point where it's going to be sitting with Chiron, your wounded healer, about your denials, basically, about your sun and your moon, which is your shine, your how others see you, how you want to see yourself, how you are viewed, basically, what you are known for, versus your moon. Your intuitive and your emotional depths are talking to Chiron, which is then talking to Jupiter. Okay? There's your sweet and sour in your water energy that's coming in. And it will be growing as the week comes because it's waiting for the moon to get there for that new moon. You also have the North Node in Leo, fire. This is going to be speaking to the donkey, okay, the spirit guide, because the North Node is a fire element, but the North Node is what you must learn in order to overcome and move forward. Without learning it, you cannot move forward. Period. That's what the North Node means. It is in Leo right now, which is the ruler of the jungle. But the ruler reminds us it's not just about being royalty. It's about being of service to your kingdom as well. It's about having the proper creativity to enjoy your life, but to also make sure others enjoy theirs too. It's not just about you. It's about service. It's about being able to be playful, enjoy life, be responsible, still be noble, and move forward in positive ways as you bring others with you, is what the North Node is teaching us right now, with it being in Leo. It is trining Aries, which is where Venus and Mercury is right now. Venus and Mercury in your universal first house of your of your what it is you're seen as, of the core of who you are, how you're viewed. And all of this energy is speaking to your sensitivity, what it is you like, what it is you don't like, why you like it, why you don't, why it hurts you, why it won't. Okay, and it's speaking to Mercury right now, and is giving you the ability to communicate this with yourself as well as outwardly. These are positive energies. Aries also has Uranus in it, and Uranus is speaking directly with Sagittarius, which is speaking with Vista and Mars until Mars moves over into Capricorn. So your Uranus is your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your inventive self. It is where your freedom is created, and how it is that you wish to be and be known for your freedom and to carry yourself, basically. This is where liberation can be made. But it is having that conversation right now in a positive way with that ninth house of Sagittarius, also ruled by Jupiter, which is your higher knowledge, your abundance, your growth, where the magnet is. But it also speaks directly to your higher self. And it is speaking to Vista about what your soul fire is, as well as Mars about what your fire and passion is, your aggression and the warrior, to be able to do so. So this is giving you that positive energy this week to know this whole week's going to come down to two things. Are you easily taken advantage of? Or can you believe in yourself enough to stand up for yourself and to stand up for what's right and what you want to do? That is your donkey also in spirit guide medicine. Now, our sextiles this week is Capricorn, Lilith, and Saturn, your rules and your boundaries versus what you want to do, and you can't be made to do anything other than what you want to do, because that's what Lilith is. You can't make me do anything I don't want to do. Speaking to your rules, your boundaries, and your walls. Capricorn is your 10th house of the community and your goals that you're creating, like career, so to speak. So this is our outward life, basically, is speaking to Pisces, of teaching us to get over that hump of where we can't seem to heal and get it right from Chiron within that 12th house, so we can move forward. So our community is looking at how we can overcome these things and move forward and heal from our denials of what we haven't been able to, because we're also got it talking to both the sun and the moon, which is both your inward and your outward energies, because your moon is your inward energy, the sun is your outward energy. Basically, it's where soul and ego come back and forth, your sweet and your sour. Now you also have, but this is a positive energy for helping you move that energy in a positive way, as long as you're being honest with yourself. Then you've got Lilith, and speaking also from Capricorn directly to Jupiter, where again, it is in the 8th house, speaking to what it is our relationships are responsible for, and Scorpio. So Jupiter is bringing the higher knowledge, the abundance, and the growth, and the magnet energy to that, so that we can try to overcome it, but we can also use Lilith's power of, you can't make me do anything I don't want to do, in a positive way. Just make sure you're using it in a positive way. Now, your challenges this week, like I've been saying over and over again, is the lotus flower. I always call the lotus flower make, or maki, however you want to pronounce it. And it is speaking to Venus and Mercury in Aries, which is our relationships of our lives, are speaking to Aries, Venus, and Mercury's communication of where is it you are on the lotus flower's growth. Are you still in the mud? Are you still in the murky, dirty, nasty mud? Or are you starting to break through? Or are you finally blooming? And what is this bringing to those relationships? Then you have Haumea, which is your collective consciousness, and how your collective consciousness grows and ascends and comes into awareness, is speaking to Uranus about your individuality, your uniqueness, your inventiveness, your creativeness, and most of all, your independence and freedom. This is speaking to how can you create yourself that way. And like I said, Uranus has a lot of energy flowing right now, because it's going to be moving in 2 months. So it can only give you these lessons that it's collecting for you right now, right now. It won't be back for another 75 years. Now, you also have Vista and Mars before Mars moves into Capricorn. Before Mars moves into Capricorn from Sagittarius, but Vista will still be in Sagittarius, your ninth and your 10th house, which is your higher self. Okay, your higher self, your philosophies, your spiritual self, your religion as well, speaking to your outer community and what it is you will and won't do within that outer community, as well as your jobs and your careers, is speaking directly with Pisces. Again, that moon energy and the sun energy, your sweet and your sour, inner and outer soul and ego, are talking to Chiron, and then back over to your warrior, which is Mars, your fire, your aggression, your passion. And Vista. Vista is your soul fire, period. It is the home and the hearth. And the home and the hearth isn't just a home. It's a home. Then you also have Lilith in Saturn and Lilith, which is your rules and your boundaries and your walls, and what Lilith will and will not do. In that 10th house of the outer community, speaking directly with Aries about our core energies, what we will and won't do, and why, as well as Uranus, which means, how does this affect our independence? How does this affect our individuality, our freedom, our uniqueness? Are we denying ourselves to be properly liberated, basically? And it's going to be tweaking those sensitive areas of that communication coming from Venus, of telling you what it is that you like, why you do, why you don't, why you love it, why you hate it, why it hurts, why it doesn't. It's going to be talking to you about those energies. Also, on the 13th, you're going to find the North Node, and Leo is going to be having a conversation with the moon in Aquarius right before it comes into these energies and it starts to shift. Aquarius is the fireworks. Aquarius is the one who has balls to take on City Hall and finally speak up and just do whatever it damn well feels, and we'll worry about worry about whatever may come to be from it afterwards. That's what Aquarius is. Aquarius cannot be ruled. Basically, Aquarius makes up its own rules, and it is speaking to that North Node, and it's going to be bringing out energies that's not comfortable, basically, of creating yourself in a proper way. Make sure on the 13th you don't put yourself in a position that you might regret, is what I'm telling you. Because it's also going to be speaking, like I said, with Mercury and Venus, again, in Aries, of who you are and your core energies. On the 14th, you have the moon also in Aquarius, speaking to Jupiter within those relationships and what it is the relationships own, and bringing those sensitive energies into peak. And like I said, these are challenging energies, so you want to make sure that you're being honest with yourself and you're not being pushed around. But Jupiter's going to make sure to bring it to your attention on both the 13th and the 14th, and is going to question where you are soulfully. Do you trust yourself? And are you allowing your independence and your own liberty basically to be taken from you? Like I said, this is a week of, can you be taken advantage of because you're easily led astray? Or can you see through it and stand in your power? I love you. I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.